Welcome everybody. Let's take a look what happened in the market today. We're going to start with the Dow Jones Transportation here, the daily chart. Look at this big cycle. This big cycle came down here, got down into there, and this cycle here starting to go up. And it looks at the moment doesn't look very strong to me. It looks a little bit weak. Okay, cycle looks a little weak. Now you can see the peak over here. This peak is lower. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. That goes all the way out to like November over here, almost November. I think was it late October? Yeah, November 4th, exactly right around election day. Okay, so the market looks weak, like it's gonna get up in here. The momentum's trying to go positive here on the MACD, and it probably will, but so this could get very strong up in here. But July 30th, kind of one of these dipsy doos here, down into this cycle low here. Then we'll see what this thing does. But so far, this cycle, as far as the way it's running up here, is, see how it ran it like this and just gave it up right away? See that? Like this was the cycle low right here. It ran up and just gave it away right away. So this already looks like a pretty weak cycle to me. This just looks super weak. Now it may climb all the way, for another, may climb another 2-3 weeks here. 3 weeks I could see it still climbing for a little bit and then give something up. And then we'll have to pay attention. What does it do after it gets to the middle part of this cycle, July 30th? Does it go higher? Does it start failing? But so far, looking kind of weak. Okay, let's look at the Russell 2000. Russell 2000 trying to get some legs underneath it. Today was kind of a big down day. Well, I shouldn't say big, but it was a decent down day. Let's zoom in a little bit better here. There we go. A range of almost 29. Decent sized red day here. July 8th I have as a low here. Okay. Now the momentum lines have crossed over, but it's still in negative territory on the daily. Okay, the 2 hour is showing on the 2 hour indicator, which for members you'll see that in tonight's email. The Russell 2000, the NDX and the SPX, but on the Russell 2000, I noticed that the 2 hour directional indicator turned green. I think it was last Friday. So going to keep an eye on that because that's kind of giving us a sense that the market might be changing direction here for maybe just a little bit, and it's going into kind of a bullish trend here. Now, is that sustainable? That I don't know yet. So that's the 2 hour suggesting things might get bullish. The daily still has some work to do before it could get into positive territory, which would be above the line here. So we're going to keep an eye on that. It may, for 2 weeks, 3 weeks here, kind of get bullish and then run out of gas. Because there's a cycle low probably in here, like right around here in this time area. Something kind of like that. There's probably another big cycle in here. Let's see. I didn't really spend a lot of time on this, looking at some of the bigger cycles for the Russell 2000, but I could attempt to do that right now. Okay. So one of the ways we could do that is by going back quite a ways and seeing where the big drops are at. So there's definitely something right here. And I'm just trying to get a fix. See, still, look at that. That's amazing. That still points to July 8th. But we've got that one there, which that was also very timely. So it'd probably be helpful to go look at the weekly, which I haven't done, but that would probably, there's kind of something right there. but that's still not very helpful. That would be way out into the future, like 2025. Well, that's pretty accurate too. Wow, look at that. So there's a really big stock. I have to look at the weekly chart, but there's one right here. There's one right approximately right there. There's one that comes down here. This one's just kind of flat. There is something right there. It's not huge. Little something right here came early. Then of course the big one here, this was COVID's nonsense, which was pretty close. So that big old cycle is way out there though in like 2025, so that ain't it. So I'll spend some time on that to see if there's something there on the weekly chart that's just not showing up here. Because there's quite a few places we could pull cycles from on the daily. So let's take a quick look at the weekly, which I don't think I have. Let me do weekly. I guess we're going to do max available. Here we go. Now they really stand out, yeah? You can really see where the lows are. There's clearly one there, there's one there, there's some stuff going on here, there's one here. I mean, this one's so obvious. Let's pull from that. See, that probably points out to like November, the one on the far right. There might be something kind of like right there, approximately. Not great though. What does this come out to be? Yeah, September. So, I'm not seeing anything for the Russell at the moment for end of July. It may be for the other indexes, but not so strong on this one. And even if we pull really tight, could pull tight like this, be really tiny cycles. These are just okay. Okay, so that's all the time I'm going to spend on that at the moment. For now, on the daily, July 8th is it, and then the next one after that would be September 23rd. Okay, so Russell 2000 still showing some weakness here. The Dow Jones Transportation definitely shows weakness. One more thing we're going to look at, we'll look at the Dow Jones Industrial, and then we'll move on to the S&P 500. Now the DJI, I mean, this definitely is in positive momentum heading this way. Okay, so it's worked from negative momentum to positive momentum. You can see that right here, right? It's making its way up. And that's a big one, keep an eye on momentum. Now, short term, this may still come down like this. It's kind of chopping around here, but not really pulling back. That's because momentum is going positive, even though short term stochastic momentum index is pointing like it's going to lose a little ground here. But I don't think it's going to lose too much long as this continues to rise and gets into positive territory. So Dow Jones looking a little bit, I'm not going to say super strong, but definitely has a little bit of a bullishness to it. Okay, so Russell 2000 on the 2 hours trying to go is bullish. Daily still bearish. The Dow Jones Transportation definitely looks like it's struggling. But the Dow Jones Industrial looks like it's going up. So a little bit of a mixed message between the three. So we'll keep an eye on that as far as all that goes. I think we might see 2 or 3 weeks of bounce kind of across the board here for the indexes, at least. Okay, now let's look at the S&P 500 futures. Okay, daily chart S&P 500. Look at this, just chopping. Just chopping. Cycle low out here. I think it's still July 11th. Let me take a look at this. Yep. And SMI trying to work its way down. Momentum trying to cross over here. Extremely elevated momentum. Look how high this momentum is. Still very high. So for right now, this S&P 500 still very strong. I mean, this is just like chopping. When I see this kind of activity, just chopping sideways for like 2 weeks now in a row, just chopping sideways, that's not weakness. Okay, for a cycle, we're only 10 calendar days out from this cycle low, and it's just chopping sideways. And this SMI is down here already. Yee. Now, if this MACD rolls over and gets a momentum going down, then maybe we'll see some more weakness. And we might see a little weakness there, for a few days as we get closer to July 11th. But right now, the S&P 500 looks, I'm not gonna lie, it looks strong. This S&P 500 looks strong. I've seen this many times where the market just chops, just chopping. Now we're still kind of in the center of this cycle, so that's typical. Now it hasn't bounced, but it certainly hasn't pulled back either, just chopping sideways. Usually when I see this kind of stuff going on, that tends to be more bullish than bearish. But we're gonna let this play out through July 11th, 10 calendar days. Not a whole lot of time for this to do a pullback. Like I said, we might just see like a few days like that, and that could be all it is. Like a 1%er or something. So this pending cycle low here for the S&P 500 right now doesn't look like much is going to happen. And if that's the case, the next cycle will be really important. If it just does a little dipsy-do like that, then I think this thing's going to blast off. Okay, it could take a big, huge blast off, and then maybe out into autumn, it really gives it up. Let's see. Let's go look at the weekly real quick because I want to get a feel for that. Let's look at this weekly chart. See, now the weekly chart shows kind of telling a different story here, okay? It has that feeling like it's trying to peak. Right? It has that feeling, that look to it like it's trying to tell us something. Right? I mean, look at this. You don't see that very often. You don't see three, well, that first one's not a doji, but you don't see three, well, on the Monday, and today's only Monday for this little candlestick here, but these are just three little spinny top kind of things going on here. It doesn't happen too often we see that. So, we saw it kind of back here, and it didn't amount to anything. The market just kept going. A little bit of something like that over here, and the market just said, forget that, we're still going. So this is slightly suggesting some weakness in the weekly chart, but so far it's just sitting sideways. And we do have quite a bit. I mean, the SMI looks like it's trying to do that. Okay, but just like on the daily chart, momentum is absolutely monstersville here. Look at this thing, 181. So this is like the second or third highest MACD reading ever on the weekly chart for the S&P 500, going all the way back to like the 1980s. Okay, this is like the second or third highest we've ever seen it. I think I've seen it. We saw 200 once before and something in the 190s. So this is like the third highest. Okay, so it's very high. The market's due for a massive, huge correction. That there's no mistake in that. Now, whether or not it'll do it, that's a different story. In today's world, I'm done. I don't say things like this is absolutely going to happen or this is certain. This is what I don't do that because this market is completely like off its rocker. It just does whatever, and I don't really care. I just trade it. Okay. Now, before we get to the intraday charts to see the trades of the day, we're going to look at my trade, my personal trade for the day. Okay, there you go. This is $700 of profit on gold. And I mentioned to the members on the Discord server, I think it was last night, Sunday night, futures opened Sunday night, and I said, it looks like gold's going to have a pullback going into 5 o'clock. Here on the hourly chart, because this is the hourly chart right here. On the 2-hour charts, it's midnight tonight. It's showing a little bit later. Okay. But obviously, I was waiting for this to peak out and took advantage of some pullback in here. And well, there you go. I first pulled down $160 on a kind of a scalpy kind of trade, and then I made whatever it was, 440, is it? I guess 440, maybe 540, 540, I guess, right? Yeah, 540. I made on a bigger trade here. Let it run a little bit and made $700. So really nice trade. Gold looking really awesome. Right now, just looking across the office here at gold, we could see one more pullback before it's done, maybe. There's a big cycle in gold, as you can see right here. Cycle low, and then it's going to probably take off again. Okay. Look at this cycle. Boom, all the way down. And then monster. Bang, bang, all the way up into here. And then it gave it up. There may be a little bit more in this to come down. Maybe. Right now, even though I'm not showing it on this chart, because this chart was during like 10 o'clock in the morning, right now this SMI is more like up here, like right here. Okay. And the momentum kind of is like doing this thing. It's kind of like up in this area. So momentum is positive. Positive momentum on the gold here for the hourly chart. I haven't looked at the 2-hour chart, but I was looking at it earlier. Somewhere around here. I don't know what happened to it. I probably changed it because I've been farting around the charts. But yeah, the 2-hour chart was showing, I think it was showing a little bit of a bounce too. So that may be all it is. This may be all there is at this point. It may not go any lower. So that's that on gold. Nice little profit. Took advantage of this cycle low, this expected drop right here, right? Bing, gave it up, made the profit. Okay, look at this over here, guys, coming out of this cycle low. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I didn't make that trade, should have. Look at that. I was trading the Russell 2000 at that point, doing decent in the Russell 2000, but this was a monster trade. Ran from 2310 all the way up to about 2340 pretty safely here. 30 points, I can tell you right now, that is huge money. Yeah, very nice. So that's my trade of the day. Nice profits. Move on to the next day. All right, so here we are on the 15-minute chart. All right. And, you know, last night futures opened up over here, and they pretty much, they closed about 15 minutes ago. So that's into the day right there. So that's the total day, about 23 hours for the 15-minute chart in the S&P 500 future. So where's the trade of the day? Well, here it is way over here. Which happened really early this morning or super late last night, 1:30 in the morning. Look at this trade. Perfect. Look at that. Wow. Oh, you can't ask for a better trade. That's like perfect trade, exactly what you're looking for. Gittes Plus indicator suggests that there's a trade there at 1:30. Boom, you get the Gittes Plus indicator. You get the plum colored candlestick. Sure enough, it gives it up. You know that because the SMI starts to roll over right here. Right? Momentum was just kind of riding this line a little bit, then fell below the zero line. That is great. That's what you want to see. Okay. And that was good for approximately, we'll call it 37 down to 25, about 12 points. Really nice trade. Now the opening bell, of course, had its little, let's see, well, it wasn't quite the opening bell. After a half an hour of a massive pullback, it had a good run up there. Okay. So that was trade of the day right there. Really late last night, early this morning. All right. And then there was definitely something here pre-market on the 5-minute chart at 6:10 a.m. You're right here. Now this one, you'd have to wait. See how it's sitting right here? You just don't take this trade yet. Now as it begins to roll over, probably like right in this area, you take your short. Now you got to wait it out here, wait it out. It gets up there a little bit, but nothing too extreme, and then just totally gives it all up. But bam. So this entry would be a little bit more challenging, but let's see, 39, you entered at 34. 5 points, not a big deal. You just wait out the 5 points and whammo. You can see this is beginning to degrade, beginning to degrade, beginning to degrade. And then the momentum's, you see how the momentum in the MACD crossed over right there at about 730. It's starting to slowly give it up, and bam, it just started giving up really hard. So those things sometimes just wait for them to develop. But look at this massive trade. So let's see. I would say we were in right around 35, and it was good. I mean, you could have got out there. But with that kind of momentum down there, definitely stay in the trade. Take it all the way down to 09. So it'll be like from here to up to there. Wow. We'll call it 10. Okay. 25 points. 25-point trade. Yikesies. Huge. That's why you got to keep track. You got to keep an eye on all the streaming charts. This is why we looked at both the 15-minute and the 5-minute chart in this video. And I always stress that, or encourage, I should say, the members to be looking at multiple charts, because there's going to be opportunities, whether it's like I did in gold, or whether it's the S&P 500. Okay, on the streaming charts, you have to, that's what the streaming charts are there for you. So you can look at it and say, okay, which one of these charts is giving me the information, the best information for a good trade. You have to be aware of that. You have to look at the charts. Okay, and nothing's stopping you from setting up your own charts, right? So you might, as members are looking at the streaming charts, they see the Gittes Plus indicators giving the signal. There's nothing stopping you from having your own charts up, right? And you, let's say, for instance, the 15-minute chart I showed earlier, or the 5-minute chart here, you look at it on your own chart and say, okay, is there something here or not? Right? So 2 super trades, one on the 15-minute chart, one on the 5-minute chart. Right? There was a little something here at the end of the day, 230. Okay, not a lot, but there was definitely something there. And, you know, it was probably good for 5 points. It's all in that one big candlestick right there at 250, like 10 minutes before the market closed. So nice little 5-pointer right here. And there's nothing wrong with picking up an extra 5 points, guys. So you got 25 and 5, plus if you happen to be trading really late last night or early at 1 o'clock in the morning, which most people aren't, but sometimes I'm up at that hour. If I see opportunity, I'll just trade it. But as I showed in this video, I took advantage of a cycle low on gold, and boomo bango makes a bank. Okay, so those are the trades of the day. Super nice. Okay, if you want to become a member, there is a discord.com link in the description below the video, as well as in the comment section. It'll be the comment pinned to the top. Okay, just make sure you read those instructions, then click on the link. It's going to bring you to get a server, then click on server shop right here, $7.99. Now you just saw I made $700 today. And I didn't calculate the profits on the S&P 500, but just from the 25 points alone on one E-mini, that's like $1,200. On a micro, it's like 120 bucks. Okay, so what am I saying? No matter what, you're going to make huge money? No, I'm not saying that. But if you're patient and use the service, you're probably going to, the membership's probably going to more than pay for itself, is what usually is what happens. Okay, so the streaming charts are down here. The 5-minute, the 15-minute, the 1 hour. Now we looked at the 5-minute, the 15-minute today in the trades of the day in this video. Okay, there's also a 1 hour chart. You may remember I mentioned on my profitable gold trade I made that I used the cycle low. Some of you might be scratching your heads, what the heck is that? Well, if you join, you'll find out. Okay, there was a cycle low on the hourly chart for gold, and there was also a cycle low on the hourly chart for S&P 500 today. There's always going to be cycles on the hourly charts, is my point is. And you can use them to your advantage. Okay, so there's 3 charts here, 5-minute, 15-minute, and 1 hour. And when you join, just hit me up in chat and say, hey, Gittes, where is the link for the streaming charts for gold? I'll give you that. It has the same 3 charts, 5-minute, 15-minute, 1 hour. Okay, that's for those that want to do some intraday trading. Those charts are invaluable. Okay, on the gold, my profits I made in gold today, I actually used 4 different charts. I looked at the intraday charts, 5-minute, 15-minute, 1 hour, okay, to time my entries and my exits. But I also looked at the 2-hour chart. Okay, because the 2-hour chart will help with overall direction, help you stay in trade. So I'm looking at a total of 4 charts to help me make decisions about entries and exit, because I actually traded twice. I took 2 different trades to make that $700. Okay. So you can hit me up in member chat, ask me where the gold streaming charts link is, and I'll give it to you. Okay. Also, when you join, just say, hey, get us, where is the new members video? I'll give you a link for that, because that's going to really help you understand how to use the Get Us Plus indicator and some of the ways I view charting. Okay. Every night emails go out. So when you join, put your email address in the emails only channel, and you get a total of 5 charts every night. You get the weekly and daily S&P 500 futures chart, and you get the 3 2-hour directional charts. These are super powerful charts. They have a directional indicator on there that helps you decide whether the trades are long or the trade is short. Okay, and that's those 3 extra charts. The 2-hour directional chart, that's for the SPX, which is the S&P 500, the NDX, which is the NASDAQ, and then the RUT, which is the Russell 2000. Okay, so a total of 5 charts, really nice. And I usually give a couple sentences of my opinion about what I think the market's going to do the next day. So super helpful email. I use those directional charts. I used the directional charts for about 2 weeks doing swing trades on the Russell 2000. Okay, I made quite a bit of money on the Russell 2000 using those charts. Okay, every day in the Get Us Only Post channel, I put the daily video, just like the one you're watching now. So you can always just go right in there and watch it. All right. Premium symbols, every day, Monday through Thursday, I put premium symbols in there. There's future symbols in there, optional stocks in there, shorts in there, industry symbols in there. So, you know, you want to check those out. I think I saw natural gas in there today with cocoa maybe in the futures, because I pay attention to a lot of futures. All right, fixed income. You know, I'm not like most traders. Most traders make profit and they just keep the cash in their account, and then they trade again. And at some point they lose money, and they kind of just churn in their money, making trades. They supplement their account with their job money, and they go back at it again, and they make some money for a while. Then they lose money. I don't do that. I stopped doing that a while back. When I make profits, I do one or two things. I either take those profits and buy corporate bonds, which you'll see in the fixed income channel. I'll put some snapshots of corporate bonds in there, which ones I'm buying. Okay, so you might want to check that out. Or I'll withdraw the money, right? Pay some bills, whatever, put it into savings, do something else with it. Okay, but I'm always going to, almost always, going to take that money I made on my profits, like on gold today. I'm going to do something with it. Okay, I'm not just going to let it sit in the account. Because if it sits in the account, there's a good chance I could lose it. You want to know why? Because everybody has bad trades at some point or another. So just think about this for a second. You make money. If you take that money and buy corporate bonds, it's, you know, if you view it as that money's locked into corporate bonds at 6, 7, 8% or better, depending on what yield to maturity kind of bond you're going for. Okay, what kind of rated bond you're going for. All right, then you're not going to lose that money. You're not going to blow it because the money's working for you. You see how that works? You're taking your profits, you're putting it to work for you. You're not just letting it sit in your account. You know what most people do is they get the money and they tell themselves, I'm just going to keep building my account, keep building my account. That rarely happens. Most traders, for people who are trading, that's not normally what happens. They usually do some trading for a while, might have some good trades, and then they have some bad trades. All right, so now you're just churning money. So it's a bad idea to just have your money just sitting in an account. When you make profits, do something with it. Preferably make you more money by, I don't know, like I said before, invest in real estate. I don't know, do something with it. I put it into corporate bonds. Maybe you could go on vacation with it. But do something with it, right? Don't just let it sit in your account. Okay, put it to you if you want your money to work for you because you're looking to retire early instead of being some schlep working when you're 70 years old. Okay, you're forced to work when you're 70 years old because you have to. Nobody wants to be doing that, by the way. All right, then you want to take your profits and parlay them into something that's going to be an investment, most likely. So there's trading and there's investing, and you need to know how to do both. Okay, parlay your profits from trading into investments over and over again. This way you can retire early. Okay, I think that pretty much covers it. There's some rules up here. Please make sure you read the rules. There's a refund rule in there. There's a disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. Everything on this server, no matter who says it's educational purposes only, including my videos, strictly educational purposes. You are responsible for your own trades. You know what? Use a service to make some bank. Learn how to do it. Be patient, okay? But you're ultimately responsible for your own trades, okay? And lastly in there, be nice, be respectful in the server. Don't be a troll, because if you start being a jerk, I'll delete your junk, your content, and I might have to ban you. I might have to kick you or ban you, all right? So don't be like that. Just be nice. Enjoy the service. All right, that's it. Happy trading, everybody. God bless everybody. Talk to you all real soon again next time.